All right, guys, welcome. Podcast 7, Steve here.
Larman.
All right, hang on. Let's try that again with a little bit of PlayStation attitude, mate. We're not as lackluster as Xbox around here. So, yep, Steve here, guys.
Sorry, I'm at a load screen. Just give me a moment.
You must have Red Ring of Death, do you? Sorry, guys. The Xbox hasn't come to play yet, so still waiting for his load screen.
Hi guys,
PlayStation's already talking. Welcome to episode 7, guys. Obviously, I know what number it is, unlike Michael most weeks. What a week we've had. Bit of a recap this week, I guess, is E3. What did you all think? We got a fair bit of feedback from you all on the page. I don't really know where to start with this. Actually, first things first, we want to make sure everyone knows while people have differences of opinions, it doesn't mean one is right and one is wrong. While me and Michael may bicker and moan like elderly women who have been married for 60 years about what's better and what's worse, at the end of the day, we still agree that PC sucks. No.
I was going to say PlayStation sucks, but okay, we can go to PC too.
We all agree that gaming brings everyone together. I had someone today calling out the new hardware of the PS5 Xbox Scarlet, saying, it's 2 years behind date, but all this kind of stuff. Let's face it, PC's a far more powerful system than a console. I know, you know it, everyone knows it. But at the end of the day, is it worth it? I can buy a PlayStation 4 Pro or an Xbox One X for $500. I can play my games in 1080p or upscaled to 4K, 30 frames a second in the 4K or 60 frames a second in the 1080p. It looks graphically beautiful, absolutely perfect. Don't sit there and think, you know what? I need to spend another $6,500 on this so I can play this in 4K 120 frames a second.
I think it personally becomes a matter of choice for the user, right? So you joke around about being PlayStation 4 and I joke around about being Xbox One. I reckon it depends on also the financial backing of the person as well. So depending on how much money you've got is what you can actually afford. So I would love to go actually out and buy a $6,000, $7,000 computer to do gaming on, because I have used computers in the past, but I'm not in that stage where I can actually just fork out $6,000 and go, okay, yep, cool, got my laptop. But I'm happy to buy a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One and go, okay, sweet, that's $500, bang, done. And I can play my game. So I think that comes into it a little bit.
It does.
I don't think buying a computer to buying a game console is completely different, because the gaming computer and consoles, they can do different things. The computer can do a lot more than just a gaming console.
But also, just because you have an expensive computer doesn't mean that it's good. A lot of gaming developers struggle even with the computer world, because yes, they do have to limit games because they're going to be played on consoles, but with the exclusives, you can't tell me not even exclusives, but the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the God of War, the Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, they were, for me, impeccable. You could put extra shading in here and there, extra textures here and there. But geez, when did gaming become all about 8K graphic? How often do we find ourselves playing a Game Boy with 16-bit graphics just because it's a brilliant game?
Yep, and you can pick it up, turn it on, turn it off, and you're happy. Yeah.
That's why the Switch is so appealing, because it has games at, obviously, except for Witcher 3 at 540p. I have to mock that one. But everything else, 720, 1080 in handheld mode, I don't believe it's actually limited by its graphics as such, more of the actual screen size and the controls for certain games. There's certain games that I just won't play on Switch, not solely because of the graphics limitation. It's more the size of the screen. If I got Witcher 3, I'd rather play it on my 65-inch LED 4K HDR TV. Simple as that.
Any other acronyms you want to add to that?
I don't have any.
Did you say smart? I don't know if you said smart.
Oh, yep.
I'll be a Queenslander. It's not your fault.
No, chuck smart in. But Yeah, so there has been a lot of it to the point where someone on the page told off one of the admins, called him names, says he hates him, and it's just uncalled for. Someone's opinion is not greater than someone else's. You can preach fact all you want, and I'm not going to sit here and do the whole rant that the admin was completely in the right because he was the one who started it, saying PC Master Race is better, but it was tongue in cheek. It wasn't that it was to irritate people. It was like we have polls all the time. What's better? Very, very similar to Holden versus Ford. I was brought up with Holden's. I'll always point out Ford's fault, Holden's pros.
You know what? That explains so much to you, right? Holden, like, are you opposite me on everything? Well, the only thing that we actually can come together with and agree with is the Nintendo Switch and gaming.
See?
Consoles we can't normally.
That's the first thing I want to start off with, guys. It's all in fun. We here at the page, we do what we do because we love gaming. We love that you guys are so engaged into it all. We love the community. We love talking to you guys. We want to play games with you guys, but we don't want to League of Legends community. We don't want to be toxic. We don't want to think we're better than other people. We don't want to think we're EA and start selling out.
We don't want to do this. We don't want to do... Mate, like, the pot calling the girl black right there.
We're all allowed our opinions. The only one that is right is EA sucks. Nah, you have to let me talk about that one. Even that right there, I bag EA out so badly solely because I feel like they have become what I don't want to become. I feel like they have become sellouts. For them, they're the gamers who made it in the world, and they could have been great. They could have contributed to the gaming industry, and while they did for so many years, all of a sudden they got CEOs, CFOs, board members, shares, public... You mother... That was you, I don't... Oh. Episodes.
It's episode 7!
You prick. I was deep in rant too. I was deep... Absolutely deep in rant.
Oh my god.
Excuse my childish admin here, guys.
I just knew that he wouldn't have his bloody phone on silent. And I'm like, no, I'm going to let him get to a deep rant here and then I'm going to ruin him.
Didn't have to wait long. Was that about 7 minutes before it started?
Yeah, that's it.
But like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. I rag on EA because, like, let's face it, that EA Sports guy, like, EA Sports, it's in the game. Like, everyone of our era knows that exact saying. Like, we come from that age, and they've got the power to listen to the little people. They have the power to make gaming great again. I'll put me little...
Are you going to build the wall, mate?
I'm going to build a wall.
To make gaming great again. Love it.
But, all right, that's about enough. We've just spent about 10, 15 minutes ranting on about something. So let's kick it off. E3 recap. What do you reckon? So far, our page has been pretty hot ever since.
It hasn't stopped. Every time I pick up my phone, I'm like 99. I'm like 99 what? Messages, and I'm just like, oh, it was so much information. I didn't sleep at all actually for the whole EA. At the end of it, I think we take back that one thing: they need more gameplay of the games, not just the cinematics. They definitely need to have games closer to release date or actually on the release date.
I agree.
I think that would be a lot more buy-in than just going, oh, yeah, we're making this fantastic game, and then, it's coming out in 2050.
Yep.
But, just start the hype now. Hype train, woo!
All right,
Hashtag hype in the comment.
Before we go too far then, which publisher do you believe won E3?
Well, that's another biased one right there. Look, personally, I think Nintendo. I really think Nintendo did a really good job. Regardless, I know you're going to say like Square Enix, and look, I've got some Ubisoft that I liked, and even Bethesda, Bessie. Nintendo did it really well. And like I've got my top 7 moments in the conference that I'll probably try and go through, depending on how many rants you like to do. Yeah, some of them aren't even games out of the whole conference. So I reckon Nintendo really killed it personally. What about yourself?
I have to agree. Square Enix did show a fair bit of gameplay. I definitely liked neck and neck with them too for me. Truthfully, one of the main reasons why I actually ended up going Square Enix over Nintendo was because they threw in the sequel to Zelda. If they didn't put that in there, I would have actually said that Nintendo won. I truly feel like it was an advert grab. Like, let's show off 6 seconds of dark video play. Don't put any sort of future release dates, absolutely nothing. It was just literally, hey, it's E3. Let's jump on the hype train. Let's make sure Nintendo is the main talked about thing here. Let's do it. Let's just show. Like, I may be wrong. They could come out and it could be released within this year. I will eat my hat if that happens. I'll buy a hat first from our from our website, and then I'll eat it, because yeah, I just feel like they dropped the ball on that one, in my opinion, but that's a skepticism of me. I don't completely agree. Us, of course. Like my jumper?
No, I think there's got a sword on there or something. I don't know, some fucking game.
Final Fantasy 7 jumper, mate.
It's Cloud Sword. Woo! See, you know what the funny thing is I never knew his name until now.
Hang on, I'm doing a bit of a
selfie moment while we're having the podcast.
Bit of a selfie. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I feel like that was when they let me go on that one. I was just like, oh, bloody hell. Like, could have kept that out. I truly believe they done enough on that day to win. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, I'll go through my top moments in E3 this year. So I'll start off. There's no real particular order. I was trying to think about putting it in order, then I was just like, oh, no, too hard. So it's a couple of points. Halo Infinite, it's actually going to be open world.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely next level experience in the Halo universe. Will be released with the next console. It's a new chapter, and I reckon it's going to be really good to see what the Chief's going to do in an open world format. And that's from Microsoft. That's the first one.
I liked actually in the video of that. I think they done very well by appealing to their storyline. Like, let's face it, Master Chief has been out for 2 decades. We've grown up with him. In the video, it shows a family, shows a daughter, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, and it appeals to me because I have a family, I have daughters, and then it's like all of a sudden there's doom and gloom. Is his family going to be alive? And I really feel like they've really captured their people by doing it that way. It caught my eye, and I've never really been a Halo kind of fan.
The next one, Marvels, so the Avengers. I think that it was stunning. The gameplay / cinematics that they showed looks really stunning, and I really can't wait for it. The only downside for that one was the characters themselves. They look like a bootleg version of the Marvel Universe. I don't know, that was just my opinion, but other than that, the gameplay... And that looked pretty good.
I saw this float around a fair bit. The thing is, Square Enix doesn't have the rights, like, to show them act. Like, they have the game, they've got the rights for the game, and they've got the rights for all of that to help publish the game, but they don't have the rights to play or portray them exact actors. So they had to create them. They have came out recently and said that no, we're not going to change to the actors, but what you saw isn't going to be set in stone. So they are open to feedback, and they probably, with the backlash that they've gotten, will probably comment about it. Yeah, I do understand why Chris Hemsworth, like, they're not going to completely and utterly portray Chris Hemsworth in it, because all of a sudden that's a whole new licensing thing. Treasures are all going to him for the next 100 years.
Okay. I do like that you can actually co-op with 3 friends as well. I reckon that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Up for that. All right. The next one, Project Scarlet. New console hype. And there's a solid state drive, which apparently is in the PlayStation 4 that I just didn't pay attention to. Reducing loading times, 8K resolution, 120 frames per second. It's basically 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One. So, does that mean that my internet bill is going to go up 4 times more? Not really, because Australia can't handle it with their internet. So, Australia's internet won't support it.
No. Well, that's 8K video play, 4K gaming, 120 FPS. I don't believe it's 8K 120 FPS. It might be the upscaled version, sort of like our 4K, or what even back. I think PS3 used to do it. It was 720p or 1080i. But I don't. Looking at them stats to get 8K 120 FPS. No, I'm gonna have to buy another hat and eat it.
Mate, I want to watch this hat getting eaten. The whole lot, right? The brim and everything.
I'll video record it while we're recording our podcast.
Excellent.
Because that's if we can get 4K at 120 FPS, I'll be happy with that. But 8K, oof. I don't believe we're ready for that yet. Not by next year. Like everyone keeps saying, oh, but it's next gen. It's next gen. It's next year. We're physically, we're in June.
You're running out of time.
Yeah, like literally, how quick is this year going? We're in June. We're just over halfway of 2019. I don't.
You were born in the 70s, weren't you? So bloody hell, you're
70s, so carried the 2. Yeah, not pretty much. 70s plus about 16-ish years.
All right, what about the next one? Okay, picture this, mate. You're a retired assassin. So retired equals old grandma. Assassin. How much more do you want from a game? Okay, her name's Helen.
Sharon.
No, it's Helen.
Linda.
No Linda, no Sharon, no Tracy. It's Helen.
Tracy Grimshaw. Guaranteed.
Oh, no. So Watch Dogs 3, Legion. The game made a lot of big claims, saying that you can get anyone to join your cause. It's from Ubisoft. I reckon that has a lot of promise, and I really hope they can keep up to their quotes, basically. The gameplay looks...
That there, I believe... They done that well enough. I know we discussed it on the page. They done it well enough where if you haven't played the series, you're like, what's this series about? And you go and look at the other 2.
Hey, I bought the other 2.
Yeah, see, exactly. Like one of my mates, he tagged me in a video today of the new Zelda sequel saying, have you finished Zelda yet? It wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, I got to go back and play that game. It didn't have enough in it to win me over. But Watch Dogs, I believe, did.
Mate, you give me a headache. Like, you can't have a go at Zelda. It's just like me sitting here and saying something crappy about Cloud.
But Cloud exists longer than 15 seconds.
Which is longer than you. So...
Yeah. You've been talking to my missus again.
Hell yeah. But, like, you can't, like... Oh. I don't even know what to say. Zelda has had so many years, right? So many years of history. So many different games. You can't just come out and go, you've watched 15 seconds and it just didn't do it for me. Like, what are you talking about? What hole put in?
But that's what I mean.
No, that's right.
They're playing on the nostalgia. Like, we have to know what it is. Like, if I watched its trailer and I watched whichever trailer even the Marvel one, like it showed enough gameplay and that for new gamers and kids who have watched the Marvel universe to be like, I want to be Thor, or I want to be He-Man. He-Man's in it. But yeah, I think that's why I've got a little thorn in my side just over that trailer. I love the hype up, but these days, like even with movies, you end up watching most of the movie before you get to go and watch it because they release a trailer every couple of months building up to the movie. All of a sudden, you've literally watched 5 minutes of highlights of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Look, Yeah, okay. But, like, I took a couple of notes with Breath of the Wild. And it was basically when they put it on, you're thinking, oh, okay, they're doing a DLC for Zelda. My heart dropped a little bit when I was thinking it was just going to be a DLC. But when they announced at the end that it's actually a full another game, mate, the people in the stadium roared over it. What I think your issue is with Zelda, and I think this is probably going to be my issue with Final Fantasy, is we haven't got the time to sit down and play 120 hours worth of gaming. Both these games need that sort of amount of gaming in it.
True.
Just as I said, I don't like Final Fantasy. I've never played it. I've watched a couple of gameplay on YouTube, and mate, let me tell you, BORING. Not you as such, maybe a little bit, but more just the gameplay, the turn-based. I'm like, oh my god. It's like someone's ripping out a tooth with no anesthetic. I mentioned that because of Grand Theft Auto 5, Trevor ripping out the guy's tooth. Bloody brilliant. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. I think life has gotten too busy for turn-based. I think we have, like, some of the diehard guys and girls who play, they still go back and play them games. Octopath Traveler done pretty well as a turn-based game, but yeah, I don't believe society is in it anymore. Like, I was never a hack and slash kind of guy. And that's why I like the look of the new Final Fantasy, because it's a mixture between hack and slash and ATB. Like, you can lifetime block, you can strike, that builds up your ATBs, and then all of a sudden you get a level, and then you can go same as Zelda. Yeah, hacking and chopping away. I do like that side of thing. I actually would probably play Zelda if I had the two side by side. Say the new remake, which is on my to-do list, the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, with Final Fantasy VII, not the remake, but the original game. If I had them two side by side, I would probably actually play Zelda, because you're running around, you're just stabbing pots, stealing rupees, cutting chickens. Even something that I'd play on the Switch, because it's quick, it's easy. You can play it and you can pause it, and that's it. You don't have to have this deep lore and deep story of what you get from older style Final Fantasies and RPGs. So yeah, I think that's why Square has really gone with the active attacking of the new Final Fantasy.
Mate, all I can say is Zelda's better. That's all I come down to. I can't be diplomatic. I'm sorry. It's nearly like a religion for me. Zelda is better. That's it.
All right, move on then. We'll agree to disagree.
That's it. All right. So my next favourite bit wasn't even actually a game. It was actually when Bowser meets Bowser.
Ah, yes. That actually copped a bit of slack for that.
Oh, they said it was corny. Mate, it's Nintendo.
I thought it was brilliant. I was like, what's the chances of having a president whose name is Doug Bowser becoming the president of Nintendo?
Exactly.
It has to be used at all times. Like, we're all dads. Dad puns are life now. So they have a permanent access to dad puns forever.
And I thought it was fantastic. You have the CGI Bowser on the screen.
Yep.
You see him trying to escort the actual digital Bowser off the screen. I know they got a lot of slack, like you said, but I reckon it was fantastic. It was true Nintendo style. They are a bit corny.
But they're a family company too. They're a family
company. That's
right. It's Bowser wearing a suit. I rated that. That was probably, like, there was a couple of things, like, everyone sort of had their little bits that they brought in. Like, Nintendo had Bowser. Cyberpunk had Neo. No, are we allowed to call him Neo? Do we have to call him by his real name?
Keanu Reeves. Like, that's he still calls him Neo. Then he calls him John Wick.
He's definitely Neo. He'll never be anything other than Neo.
He goes for a bloody casting now. No, you're Neo. You can't do this role.
Neo can't be in Cyberpunk, but he can, because he takes over machines. He would have been perfect in it as Neo.
The last one, Cyberpunk 2077. Looks incredible. Mate, sick music. I thought it was fantastic. And my favourite part as well, again, not really about the gameplay. Keanu Reeves gets out on the stage and the guy goes, "You're breathtaking!" And he does it in true Keanu Reeves style. He just goes, "No, you're breathtaking." And the crowd goes nuts. I think the guy personally was a little bit too excited to see Keanu Reeves, but I really think he handled it well.
Did you hear what happened with that heckler?
Game or something?
No, he's got the special edition. That Cyberpunk 2077, they actually, because the heckler has changed his name now. So, say his name was Michael Larman on Twitter. He's changed it to Michael, you're breathtaking Larman. So,
why? Thank you.
Yeah, but he's because it's become a worldwide success now. Like it's huge, and then all of a sudden he gets a message on it saying, and not only because of that have you gone worldwide, but you've also won yourself a collector's edition of Cyberpunk 2077. Check your inbox.
Wow. So yeah. How much would the collector's edition for that be?
Truthfully, I think I saw it was $200 or $250 Australian with the. Yeah, from memory. I'd have to look at EB Games. They're all sold out anyway. But are you ready? I'll Google it for you.
Just give him a moment.
It's
it doesn't sound like that.
But yeah, they don't have it on their website. But from
well, EB Games, you go to it and it says, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? The Masked Salesman, The Legend of Zelda." Oh, they do little game things if you have the wrong address with EB Games. That's pretty cool. Our princess is in another castle. Yeah, it's actually comments. Anyway, so whatever the cost was, the guy got it for nothing. All for saying those little words. So, you're breathtaking. No, didn't work for me.
No.
Let's see if I get a message in my inbox. Please stop calling me. That's all I had for my big E3 spill.
That's all you had?
That's all I had. I think I'm missing something.
51 minutes you've taken up in my life, and that's all you had.
51. I think there's a couple of edits. It's going to be about 30 minutes.
I want to tell you about my E3 recap.
No, we don't care about you, remember?
We do.
We don't care about what people think. We just want to do our own agenda. Take over the world.
We got North and South, good and evil. I'm going to get out my Ryu just to help me fight.
$4?
$4.
Mate, EV's got some pretty good sales.
Look at it. Down from what?
20. Wow.
Boom. Look at him.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect. Look at this. Hang on. I'm going to open this bad boy and play it with my Final Fantasy VII.
20th anniversary, PS4. You know what? I actually don't like the look of that controller.
That's a solid grey like the original PS1 controller.
That's so fantastic. The nostalgia was killing me. Oh, hang on. Was that sarcasm?
No, that was real.
I'm waiting for your list.
All right.
Getting out your Ryu controller.
I'll rattle off There was obviously 1 million games talked about at E3.
We covered the majority.
We've covered off most of them. Out of them, I only liked probably 999,000. 998 of them.
98? No, I reckon Bessie's games with the mobile ones were pretty crappy.
No, I liked them. The only two I didn't like was Minecraft and Dragon Builder.
Mate, that's getting some good reviews.
Of course. That's what they do. I wish someone would comment on our page. What brings them to love these games? Because I cannot. I just don't get me started. I ranted about it last week.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Go ahead.
some of the games you've obviously talked about them already. Spyro, Pokemon Sword and Shield, but we already spoke about that. Sequel to Legend of Zelda, Fire Emblem, Collection of Mana, Trials of Mana, Legend of Zelda. Like I can just keep Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
you
VII.
mentioned that twice. Legend of Zelda. You
No,
must be thinking about Links to the
Legend of
Past.
Zelda
I didn't
Link's
discuss that
Awakening.
actually.
There's Legends of Zelda Link's Awakening. Not
No?
Links to the Past, Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah, sorry. Links.
You're thinking
Yeah,
the wrong
wait.
Zelda.
I was.
Yeah,
It's the one
see?
with the big egg.
Here, I like Zelda.
I had a moment. I can't even say I had a blonde moment. I'm that bloody bald.
Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, or Port, whichever one you call it. Borderlands 3, Outriders, Shenmue 3, finally starting to come out. Doom Eternal. You didn't talk about Doom Eternal. What about Jedi? You moved on. Star Wars Jedi.
Well, I was too scared to mention anything EA. I just assumed you'd shoot it down straight away.
You tried blaming me. You forgot. You forgot about Star Wars.
Most anticipated game coming out, and I forgot. Oh.
That's like literally me talking and then forgetting.
Forgetting Final Fantasy. But you know what? I didn't put it on the list because I thought, oh yeah, no, I'll remember that one.
Yeah, that there is a sign that it was a pretty good E3.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
If it made you forget a game like that, then they done well. So, but like going through that whole list, a lot of them scream to me. Like obviously I've carried on about the FF7 remake. I won't brush on that one tonight. Final Fantasy VIII is just like a remaster coming to PS4. I know that's big with the people, but I'll leave that one. Shenmue 3. I never played Shenmue 1 and 2. You taking selfies?
I was. Anyway, keep going. I wanted to prove I actually do some work when I'm at home. So I'm doing a podcast for my gaming channel. Priorities right there, people. Yeah. I can't do the washing. Sorry, missus. I'm going to do a podcast.
But Shenmue 3, it's got actually a very die-hard fan base. People love that game.
What was that one again?
It was on Sega. You can actually get the pre-ordered edition. You get a jacket and all that kind of stuff. But he's a detective or something. I don't even know whether I played number 2. I think I played number 1. It was on Dreamcast. I think it was. I wish I prepared for that more. But I personally, it's a name that keeps getting thrown around. But I haven't been lured into it.
Shamui Winka Bluey. Done. Move on.
Move on. All right. Look, out of all of them, I'll touch, like, a lot of them are remasters. Trials of Mana, Collection of Mana, stuff like that. Trials of Mana, not so much, but Collection of Mana. Fire Emblem is one that is a definite for me. I cannot wait for Fire Emblem on Switch. It's going to be a good time. I just hope they do it nicely. I hope they've kept it as at their roots, like a bit more adulty. They got in trouble last time because of the touchscreen on the 3DS. You rub someone's back for affection, and then all of a sudden Japanese were allowing you to rub people's chests for affection. And of course, we all know what anime girls look like. So every girl in the game, giant double G cans. They're ridiculous. Yeah. They keep the rubbing of the breast.
See, I'm sold. I didn't even play the game, but I'm going out tomorrow. Bye.
Star Wars what? You've forgotten. You've moved on.
No, who cares about Star Wars, mate, with his double G's and...
But it's definitely one that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, out of all of it, I hate to end on a downer. But
here we go. I knew the rant was coming. I'm like, when?
Let's talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield.
All right, let's talk about it. What would you like to talk about?
They're not bringing a national Pokédex.
I reckon that's an issue, I really think that's an issue.
Do you think they'll actually stick to it? Like, I know Game Freak, they have actually had very big problems with Pokemon on the Switch. They, as a developing company, they truly weren't prepared for the Switch. I think a little bit of arrogance or greed got in their way. Not greed, actually. Greed's probably the wrong word. Definitely.
If this is going to be another EA grant.
Sort of arrogance, like they haven't expanded their team much. Like, they've gone from 3DS, like, let's face it, the Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun was just like a slightly boosted version of Moon and Sun.
Oh yeah, it was 100%. Like, they changed the storyline a tiny bit, and that was it.
They admitted that they were really struggling with the Switch. Like, obviously the creation of the game, the producing of the game. That was, I think, one of the reasons why they got permission to bring out Pokemon Let's Go. Because it was a remake of one of their games. It was entry level, but also they didn't have to do too much content and detail. They could grab an old game, they had the storyline, they had things that they could follow. So they could just say, hey guys, here's a level, create that using whichever engine. Unity, I don't know what engine they actually used, but so that helped them come into it. But yeah, for everything that I've read, they are really struggling with the newest one. And I wonder if the Pokédex, like the national Pokédex, is because they've got, how many are they up to now? 751 Pokemon or something?
I thought it was about 800.
Yeah, like that is a lot of Pokemon, a lot of graphic design, a lot of coding, a lot of creating.
No, look, right. They've already got the graphics from previous versions. You just need to upscale them a little bit and put them in. Like, I think purely... I don't think the developer was lazy. Okay, because there's a lot of people throwing that out on the internet saying lazy. I don't think lazy is the word.
It's past upscaling. They would have to redesign that whole sprite completely. There's no way you could scale 3DS sprites all the way to a Switch. And I also did read that there was comments about bringing it in tighter again, back for competition, because it's very difficult. And Pokemon competition is actually still very big worldwide. So
which part?
It's in like competing cards, all that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Only thing is they don't have to delete Pokemon to do that. Magic the Gathering has different gaming types. They've got standard, they've got commander, they've got all different types. So then it controls which era of card you're allowed to use. They could do that with Pokemon. They could turn around and say, nah, in world divisions, you can only use Leaf and Fire Red.
I just put a post on Facebook, 4 of us recording the podcast, you with your half a sword shirt. It's there, apparently. And one of our listeners, Conrad, has actually just commented, damn boys, got to catch up on all the podcasts today. So I'm up to date. Wow, keep them coming, really cool content. I reckon that's really cool. And also, he actually mentioned you in it, mate. Mute your phone. That's all you got to do. Mute your phone. That's it.
I'll get there.
Sorry, just to go off on tangent there. But I really think, like, it's the world of Pokemon. It has to have a national dex. Like, I think that if they don't do that, like, they're bringing out new Pokemon services where you can upload your old Pokemon to that service and you can use them in games. Well, what happens with them with this game? Or is this just going to be a standalone game? The amount of hours people have put in on their Pokemon and they've brought them through the generations, like, it's just crazy not to try and bridge that gap and go, okay, actually, sorry, we've reshuffled it, we're going to make it a national dex, which they really should.
Well, I'm in both minds, solely because I come from Kanto. I played the original 150, 151. I never really played methodically after that. I played Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, then obviously Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then I've just dabbled as the years have gone on. Sapphire, Emerald, Platinum, Diamond, all that kind of stuff, Sun, Moon. I bought Ultra Moon, played it for about 8 minutes, and was like, what the hell is this? Like, it was just literally a reskin of Moon that I had to pay full dollars for again, and I was upset.
I played, my first one was Pokemon, Red.
I was Red.
Charmander, mate, all the way. I don't know, I've played all the games. I didn't mind Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon Ultra. I actually got both because I said there was gameplay different, but it wasn't really a lot of gameplay different. But I still go back to, it had the national dex, that there were all the Pokemon up until that point. So at the end, you've got like 800 Pokemon in your national Pokedex.
Mm.
Look, I reckon they might still do like an update or something. There's been no official word. And obviously, a lot of the fans have gone nuts over it.
I think, yeah, that was what I was right about to say. I think it's in the people's power now. It's in our hands. If people are like me and they roll over, like, are they still bringing certain Pokemon along with them? Or is it
Yeah, they are. No, there is. It's got your standard, like your Pikachus and things like that are coming across, because that's like the part of the brand. Is,
some of mine, like, I understand Eevee. Eevee's got about 908 evolutions now.
16 generations.
They're going to bring Eevee over the Pikachu. But some of my favorite Pokemon are not obscure, but not the big ones. Like Scyther is actually one of my favorite Pokemons. And for me, for him to be left out just because of, we're not going to do it anymore. Like, I want to see the game. Is there a reason why there's not a national Pokedex?
But again, it goes back to it's in its own world. So, and like the Pokemon as a world, like you see the maps that they've drawn up and they join all the little islands together and it makes a big, massive globe. Like this is just another part of the unexplored world of Pokemon. And they don't include the national dex. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know unless maybe in the gameplay it explains why there's no national dex. They might well and do that. But
that's what I mean. Like, do they expand it later on? Like, let's face it, Kanto said there was only 150 Pokemon in the world. 151 Pokemon in the world.
Known Pokemon.
Yes, known Pokemon. That's it. So they said there was only 150. And then it become 250, become 350. And it just kept on going and going. So maybe this one, I don't know, maybe they're going to build it more of a standalone, and then it becomes, because they want to create the memory for kids again, like not for us. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do. Like, if it is sheerly, we're not doing it because it's laziness,
It's really not laziness. I don't think any game developer will do something because they're lazy or not do something because they're lazy. I really don't think lazy comes into it at all.
Content and lack of content is lazy. They haven't released the game. It comes down to, and lazy is a very broad statement of, they would look at it and say, is it worth the money? Is it worth the money of $100,000 worth of programmers, graphic designers, level designers, etc., story writers to bring in them 800 Pokemon? Or do we start all over again, wipe the whole thing? It's all back in a new beta and they can just play from there. I don't think
it's lazy. They might do an update later down the track, but I don't know. Just a lot of people have been throwing out that lazy word. Oh, they're being lazy about it. Well, no.
No,
I think they maybe made a judgment call and said, okay, well, we don't really care about the other 800 Pokemon. Let's try and start fresh, maybe.
Yes, yeah, I definitely use that word. It's lazy's not the word that I'm trying to explain it. Yeah, it's as a whole corporation, I think they've just had to sit down. Like, let's face it, everyone's giving them slack. Game Freak would have had to sit down and say, hey guys, are we willing to delete the last 25 years worth of our memories?
Okay, I've got a question for you as well then. I agree. So out of all the other games that you've played for Pokemon, how many times did you actually complete the national dex? And I'd like to put it to our listeners as well. How many times did they complete it? I really don't think. Besides number one, the first one?
No, never did. Red, blue, yellow, leaf, and fire. Never did I finish any of the rest.
Yeah, those ones. Like the first one was the red. That was the only one that I finally got to 151 Pokemon.
Yep. No, I done because I own blue, red, and yellow. I still actually do, and I own fire red and leaf green.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've replayed them all and I've maxed them. So them I have, but no, I've never done it since then. And
that's probably why they went, okay, maybe do we need the 800? Was it worth, as you said, as an investment to do it? But as I said, the fans have gone nuts, so maybe I might be wrong. Let us know.
Well, that's where I stand. If it's a national dex and they're only bringing the original 150 back, I'm happy because I don't... Oh, there's Greninja. I like Greninja. He's pretty cool.
Greninja?
Yeah.
Greninja? Is it a ghost Pokemon you're talking about?
No. It's a starter. It's his final evolution.
Greninja!
Are you laughing because I mispronounce it?
Okay, so the starter Pokemon for the first three, are you talking about? Red, blue, or yellow? Oh, hang on, we've got some typing happening here. This is brilliant.
How come I am... I want to hear this. Go, let's go.
What generation are we talking first?
No.
I'm talking about the first generation.
Why would I be talking about them?
Because you just mentioned...
No,
I said... You would like to have the original first 150, yes. And I go... And then you go, my favourite was Greninja. Well, that is not...
No, I didn't. I said I'd delete the rest. And then I said, oh, hang on a second. Greninja is actually one of my favorites.
We're wordsmiths at Gamerz Downunder.
He's one of the starters from Pokemon X and Y.
Is that the
water? Yeah. He evolves from Froakie.
Anyway.
He actually won a lot of competitions, voted. He knocked Pikachu off the favourite Pokemon in 1 year. So obviously that's why Pikachu got Pokemon Yellow, because he won a national competition over in Japan back in the day. He was voted as the #1 favourite Pokemon.
Of course he was. All the girls loved him.
Yeah.
And all the guys wanted to give him to the girls. So he became #1.
They had that going for a while. But yeah,
I'm talking about base Pokemon. He's talking about X and Y. You can clearly see we're on the same topic of Pokemon, different generations. You're done. Are we done? It's like only an hour and 13 minutes. This won't take an hour.
Yeah, no, that was the last rant.
Last rant. You sound a bit deflated now. This is the last rant. Don't worry, we can come back next week and do it all over again for another rant for you.
No way. I'm going to kill you. Mocking me on the middle of the podcast.
About what?
You got close to the camera and were laughing in my face. That's got to be our rant done. That's Pokemon. Look, I'm excited for it. I'm not going to let National Dex ruin the first proper direct entry level game onto the Switch. I bought the Switch because of Pokemon. I had every other console. I bought Pokemon Ultra Moon, and they turned around on the 3DS and they said this will be the last game of the Pokemon direct entries on the 3DS. We've maxed it out. That's why we had to cap it at Ultra Moon. They couldn't go any better than that. So for me, I thought, well, what's next? Where are they off to? And then as soon as they announced the Switch, that was for me. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? They said Pokemon's coming to it. I was like, thank you. Because that's all I've wanted for the last, 20 years, 25 years. When did it come out? 97 maybe? Around that era. So
97.
Oh, I called it. All right.
You sound professional.
So... yeah, for the last 22 years, this is what it has looked like in my mind. Using, you know what I mean? This is kind of game that I've been wanting. Like Pokemon Let's Go was enough to itch to scratch. It's like, oh, come on, give me a proper. And I actually would have rather them completely remake the original one, not with the capturing of the Pokemon, with the attacking. I believe that's why I didn't finish that game. I got right near the end, and I just couldn't get there because I was just trying to catch them. But yeah, Pokemon and Switch go hand in hand. I'm not going to let the national decks stop me from buying it. Will I be upset if some of my favorite Pokemons are missing? Yes, I will be. Will it be enough for me not to play the game? No. But will it be enough for me not to play the games twice? Maybe. I don't know. So if all of my original Pokemon are going, I don't believe I've got the time or the emotional bond to start all over again. I have the original 150 in my mind. I watch them with my daughters still. They show the little silhouette, like the shadow. And, who's that Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon?
And they all, who is it, Dad? Who is it? And I'm, boom, it's Onyx. And they're like, oh, Dad's a boss. Like it gives you that feeling. But then when we're watching X and Y, I'm like, the hell is that Pokemon? Like, I just
yeah, you didn't invest a lot of time into those ones, and that's what I meant before about the whole Pokedex thing. Like, how many times have you caught the whole Pokedex?
No,
You just don't even know the Pokemon. Where the original 151, like, I've got the base set of cards. I've played all those games, and I've had the repeating Pokemon coming in each game. So they were engraved in you that you know. Even with Pokemon Go, I went mental at it. I'm level 38. I'm still level 38 now. I got my 151 Pokemon. As soon as I got that, I'm like, yeah, not really that motivated to get the other generations. I'm still trying, but it's just hard.
Oh, well, we'll see. Did it have a actual release date on it?
November 15th.
Okay. You know. But all right, guys. Well, that's about enough out of us. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. Jump over on our Facebook page, our Facebook group. Also is a bit active with the talk. The page is a bit difficult, but the group, everyone's always on there having a chat, organising gaming parties, stuff like that. So jump over, give us all a hoy. Talk to us about whatever you want to talk about. Obviously, this is our last recap of E3. So next week we'll be getting back to our, I'd like to say structured self, but let's face it, we've never been structured.
We don't believe in structure. Structure is evil.
Back to our slightly more structured selves. And we'll be able to keep going. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. And password is actually, let's go Tifa's Titties again. No one's picked it. So Tifa Titties, go type it on our Facebook page. I'll send the page a message if you're a little shy. Don't want to be right.
No, it has to be on the page. I want everyone to know you want a dodgy mug.
And we'll send you a mug. So thanks for listening, guys. I'm out. Steve's out for the week, and I'll be playing Final Fantasy 7 on YouTube. So be sure to join in.
Well, okay, guys. Again, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your messages on our Facebook page. We really do appreciate it. We haven't announced the winners.
No, we haven't.
Like, I had a whole spill. We're going to do it by the end of the podcast, but I'm signing off, ready to go home.
Well, good point. Do you want me to read one of the names? You read out. We're doing something different this week, guys. We are going to do 2 giveaways, $50 voucher each. One boy, one girl. So keeping it fair these days.
God, the equality. There we go, Steve. Go on.
We equally want to give money to guys and girls these days.
All right, guys. So we're going to announce the winners for our giveaway. So each will receive one $50 gift voucher. Steve, ladies first, mate. Ladies first.
All right. We chucked into a number generator, and I'd like to say it's a top fan, but nearly everyone's top fans at the moment because everyone's so busy on the page. So thanks for that, I guess. But Gemma Copeland. So thank you for liking, sharing, being active. We definitely appreciate it. So send the page a message. We'll obviously probably tag yous anyway when we advertise the podcast. But yeah, congrats, and hopefully you buy something cool and chuck a picture of it on our wall. All right, over to you.
Glenn Lancaster. So again, thank you so much for liking our page and sharing it. I will put a post in the comments, as what Steve said before, but I really hope you do both post. Just make sure, guys, that you share a post of what you actually bought with the gift card or put money towards. Just we'd like to see the feedback back on the page. It'd be great. Thank you again, guys. And guys, I'm out. It'll never be game over.
And Gamer's got a game.